And we can't see my face. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. All right. Hey, welcome back to the show, folks. It's been a couple weeks. Been busy. I'm gonna glitch in and out. It looks like we got the Paranormal Girls on tonight, and we're gonna talk to them and ask them about their experiences and have a good time. I'm Tia Paranormal. I got my boy Cordell. What's up, buddy?
Not much, brothers. Just another week, another great podcast.
There you go. And then we see we got Brenda, Misty, and the one's name says T Trump.
Tanya.
Tanya. We got Tanya. So they're gonna tell us about themselves. While they're doing it, I'm gonna try to figure out why I'm glitching in and out on my awesome background. It's not like anybody would miss my face anyway, but we're gonna have some fun and we're gonna learn about them and talk about some paranormal and should be awesome. So see, it said you you gals found it in 2024.
Correct. We're not even a year in to investigating as a team, but we have done other investigations, like on our own or whatever, before coming together as an all female team.
Awesome.
Interesting.
So what made you? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I see you, bud.
No. So what made you do it all woman, girl, gal, whatever you want to say about it? What made y'all do that? Like, were you tired of all us knuckleheads holding it down and taking charge? Like, what made y'all decide to do that?
Um, my brother is also a paranormal investigator, and he's gone to a lot of places where there's a lot of dark stuff. And he's always like, oh, women tend, scientifically speaking, women tend to be the weaker um,
Oh
link,
wow.
so to speak, and like they're they're more easily manipulated over men. Um, and he's like, so I don't think, like generically women would be able to do, you know, the same on their own without being, scared or whatever. So, I set out to prove my brother wrong.
So the folks who give birth to us idiots are weak, is
Yep.
what I heard.
Well, it's kind of like, because women are more vulnerable than men. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and when thought pops into our head or whatever, we kind of run with it because we overthink and overreact and all of that stuff. So yeah, that, I mean, I love my brother and I'm not trying to
Yeah.
bash him,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to prove to him that I could build a team and it's going to be a solid team where we're going to go in and we're going to do this stuff. And he's actually investigated with my team. And he is like, you guys are actually really good. I am surprised that nobody is scared. Nobody runs out, like whatever. Like, we do the wholehearted investigation that we need to be doing. So,
I
it's like
you know,
anything you can do, I can do better kind of thing.
yeah.
I'm a
Yep.
bona fide savage, but I know that women, you guys are popping bowling balls out, and back in the day when it was man has to go to work and the woman has to be at home. That's hard, man. I remember, I was born in 1977, and I remember taking care of my brothers and my sister. That was hard, man. And my father, how hard it was, but my mom, it was like nothing. And I hate when I think I've probably done it myself too. My sister tells me every once in a while. But I hate that term, the fair sex. You know, um, there's women that have been like queens and ran like countries and wars and outsmarted m- men in the past who were supposed to be tough guys, I guess. But yeah, I'm trying to say something, but I'm trying to say that you can't just because somebody's a woman, don't think they're soft or whatever. Like I've met some. I'm in the military. I've been in the military 29 years.
Thanks for
I
your
have met.
service.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. I've met some women who have made me like blush. Some of the stuff they said, and I was like, "You can't say that, sister." Like, what are you talking about? Because that's a guy thing to say. But no, you guys are tough too, man. Like, and I don't know. I just feel like you guys would think about stuff and analyze stuff more than us because our first instinct is either to run or go get in there, you know.
Fight or
And
flight.
you guys have that instinct also, but you also have that one where it's like, which I try to take from is like, okay, think about it.
How did
you
that
know, I
happen?
I always say you guys are you're the smarter of the species. We should probably listen to you a lot more. The world would be better, I think.
Yeah.
But I'll get
So,
off of that tangent.
just one other little thing. When my brother first started doing investigating, I was always like, "When are you taking me? When are you taking me? When are you taking me?" And he goes, "I'm not taking you." He goes, "You're going to end up running out the minute something touches you or a noise happens or whatever." So then, like fast forward like 5 years, he finally caved in and started taking me and realized I wasn't as bad as what he thought I would be. Because like if I hear that noise, I go, like, I want to go after it and I want to know what it is, what's
Yeah.
doing it. And he thought I would run the other way. Um, but yeah, so now he's wanting to tag along with my team all the time
Yep.
because we're doing things and he's not.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'll admit I probably would have thought the same thing in my younger years with my sister, but yeah, she wouldn't. She's gotten to some shit with me, so I know she'd be down.
Right?
Now one of my brothers though, hey, he's not having it. He's a scaredy cat.
My fiance the same way. Somebody's got to live to tell the story, and I'm like, I guess,
You got to
I
have a
guess.
smart
That's
one.
what cameras are for. That's what cameras are for, telling the story. Everyone goes forward. You don't stop till you get something.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So I'll ask like so Misty, uh if you're able to, can you tell us about yourself?
Um, yeah, sorry. I'm
Oh, you're
44
good.
and I've always had an interest in paranormal, but actually I met Brenda through her fiance because I'm friends with him. My husband's friends with him. They went to college together. And we started talking and realized we had a lot in common in the paranormal universe. So, we went to I can't remember what was his name, Dustin?
Dustin
Brenda.
Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah, from
We went,
Ghost Hunters.
Hmm.
Yeah.
right. We went there, and I think it kind of just kind of cemented that bond that we really wanted to kind of dive deeper into this. And so, yeah, that's, my way into it. But just being friends with the right people and meet the right group of girls to do this.
And what's your ability, Misty?
Wow.
I was going to ask the question once everybody was done too, because Cordell,
He's got
you'll like
he's got the gift.
Well, I've kind of channeled some stuff. Really at McPike.
Oh yeah.
Kind of got into a situation. It was my first time realizing what was going on, honestly. I've always told people that I'm pretty much like a spigot always going.
That's cool. I
And
never heard it like that. That's cool.
it's like I never could turn it off. And now I kind of realize why. It's because I'm getting influenced by things around me that I didn't realize I was getting influenced by.
That was amazing.
Nice. Uh, so I take it that was like at the beginning, but like now you're more in tune with it, right?
Yeah, I've been trying to meditate quite a bit
Yes.
more. Center myself, kind of realize how to function with it a little bit better.
How to manage it.
Yes, because it brought a lot of anxiety all the time. And
I can imagine.
I think that's gotten a lot better, especially knowing these ladies, because they've helped me with that as well.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
And all right, see, I'm bad with names, but Tanya, right?
Yep.
Look at that. Got it. Cordell. Kiss my ass. I got it. All right, sorry. Tanya, go ahead. Tell us your story.
I am 52. I am me and an empath.
Nice.
It's overwhelming. I wasn't aware of what I could do until I was A and was dealing with people as they were dying. It was really brought forward when, as a dare, I went to Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. That was the most awesome experience I have ever had in my life.
On a
Did
dare.
you say on a dare?
It was a dare, and it was a candle, or it was a flashlight tour. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm doing that, do all three.
I like
Awesome.
it.
I've never been there, and I know about that place. And it's like, oh, you went there on a dare.
It's
Yeah.
phenomenal. It was sensory overload. I was picking up so much stuff. I met Brenda through a mutual friend. She asked me, and I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's awesome.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, Trans-Allegheny is a great place to go on a dare.
I need to go. I've wanted to go. I've never been.
On my list.
That would be
I want to
awesome.
go back.
That would be.
Gotta go back.
The fact she did it on a dare, that's mad respect right there.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Oh, hey, Kitty, Cordell, Kitty.
Cat. Hello, Cat.
This is Lucy.
We got a kitty. Where's my Roxy? Where are you?
Yes.
She usually she's in here yelling at me, but I don't know where she's at. She's probably mad at me. I don't know.
I say my other one's sleeping. So
So it seems like
Roxy's an old girl. We found her in so moved to New Jersey in 09.
Oh man.
Yeah, 09. Bought a house in 2010. And I like to do stuff outside. And I'm building a 20 by 20 patio all by myself. Just because I like to be outside, and my wife's yelling at me because it's 200 degrees outside, and I told her, "You don't tell me what to do, devil woman." And I think I'm passing out, and I see this orange and white thing walk by, and I'm like, "Hmm, look, fairy." No, it's a cat. And I'm like, "Hey, come here." And she ran over, and my wife yelled at me. And then I was so far as putting the sand down, and this damn animal went to the middle, dug a hole, and took a big old duke. And I was so mad, but then I stopped, and I was like, "She's mine." That's
Right.
and she did not leave us. And what we didn't know, she was pregnant, so she had a litter of kittens. And then you guys know what a drill instructor is, drill sergeant, all that. So at the time, I was what we call in the Coast Guard a company commander. Same thing as a drill instructor. My company commander back in '95 was still there working at the base as a civilian, and his wife would take up stray cats and get them fixed and get them out to people to adopt. So they took her. They took the kittens, and my wife was like, even though she was mad at me for calling Roxy over, she was like, "I want to keep her," and we've had her since, and she's adorable. Um, she's very old now, so she's having some issues. So my job now is to, when we come home, grab some tissue, walk around the house, and pick up the landmines that she leaves me. I don't get mad though because I love her and she loves me. I'm her favorite, and I tell my wife that every day. So she can do her little poopy bombs all she wants, but I'll pick them up. Cordell, don't tell anybody that.
What was you gonna add, or what was you asking, Cordell?
So Cordell,
Okay.
um, the reason I wanted, I one of the reasons I got excited. One, we have a all woman crew here, right?
Yeah.
But two, after reading some stuff, they have some abilities, some gifts.
Yeah.
And Cordell, you want to talk about somebody? And I mean, if they're there, you can bring them on if you want. You can call them in, give them a text, whatever. But if you want to
Uh,
talk to about somebody, and that made me
so
excited because I have some future plans, as Cordell knows, some future episodes where I want to have some individuals that have some abilities. Um, I believe strongly that we all have them. Some of us get it growed out of us, or we forget, or we just don't want to hear it. I
yeah.
was fortunate enough to have a grandmother and mother who um I don't want to say pushed it, but um
Solidified it.
let me know that it was okay. You know what I mean?
They encouraged you.
I don't talk about a lot of stuff in like the personal, what I know or what I've done. Um but
She's here.
um I'm sure people can figure out when I talk about it, but there's stuff out there, I know it, and we have abilities, I know it. I just don't share it. But there she is. There she is. I
So
haven't seen you
Kara,
in a while.
Hello.
this is Kara. This is my wife. Um, she also has the gift. Kara, this is Brenda, Misty, and Tanya from Paranormal Gurlz. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Good seeing you. It's been a while.
It has been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially you got to hang out with that guy. Yeah. But
Me? I'm a
Cordell,
dope.
we love you. We love you.
I'm gonna paint your house a different color. But anyways, like I was saying,
Hey,
so it seems
quit
like you're.
mansplaining. Let her explain. Go ahead, Kara. The floor is yours. I took care of him for you.
I don't even know what the question.
Why don't you tell us? My bad. I'm sorry. But why don't you tell us about? So they talked to us a little bit about tell us about you. whatever you want to tell us, shortly about your gift or whatever, and then I can stop this madness and we can get back to them actually explaining what they do. But yeah, I'm on a roll right now. Go ahead.
So I was born in a haunted house. My grandmother on my dad's side had the gift and actually told my mother when she was going to die, which was a couple months after I was born. So I grew up being able to see spirits, hear them, talk to them. Uh, when I was very little, they visited me in my bedroom, woke me up several times, not knowing what was going on. And me being very small, I ran to my mom's room crying, told her what was going on. She said it was probably just a nightmare. The one that sticks out to me the most is that I had like running water, like I could hear running water, and it woke me up. And I looked over, and there was a woman standing there, completely bloated, covered in seaweed, very pale, spitting up water in the middle of my bedroom. And I freaked out, obviously, ran out of the room, ran to my parents. They said, just sleep in the bed with us, whatever. A couple days later, woke up, the news was on. It said that they found a body of a woman in a lake nearby, and that was the exact woman I saw. And I mentioned it to my mom, and she was just like, I don't know what to do about this. Like, she just had no idea what to say. So she did a lot of research and stuff, and she realized that I probably have the same gift that my grandmother on my dad's side has. By this point, my grandmother has already passed away. And so she just kind of like gave me information, and I did a lot of research in my own practicing as I grew up. That's kind of why I'm very witchy now. About it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. When I got your email and your bio, I got a little excited. I was like, oh, I'm not going to tell Cordell yet, not until we get on air, and then have her
God,
bring
you
her in.
guys are the worst. Always keeping me out of the loop.
We don't want to get your hopes up.
Just
That's
because.
awesome. So I guess my next question is your investigations. You've done a few. How do you use your gift in the investigation, or do you or don't? How do you manage that? And this is for all three of you.
So for me, I'm an empath and I have clairvoyant tendencies. I try not to dive into them too much at the moment because I'm not ready for that. But um, I can pick up on noises, shadows. I have heard my own name be called. Um, just kind of the different things like that. Um, and so going into a location, um, it's like taking that moment to really stop and to kind of like concentrate on what's going on. So then you can start being able to decipher the different things. We went to one location, and during the little tour walkthrough, I kept hearing a woohoo type sound. You could just hear woohoo. And there's like five of us. And I'm like, is nobody else hearing that? And they're like, hearing what? And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I've heard it all over this building. And then I don't know, like 3 hours later, while we're investigating, Misty finally heard it, heard the same thing. And I'm like, finally, yeah, it's crazy. But you just pick up on the different things. And then, you try to, being an empath, it really sucks, especially if there's a very emotional state of being, whether it's super angry or super sad or anything like that, because you pick up on that and it can change it super quick. Um, I can walk by somebody that's crying, don't even know them, have no idea what's going on in their life, and I'll stop and cry with them just because,
Wow.
because I feel that pain or whatever. And
Yep. Yep.
so, yeah. But yeah, and I'm learning more and more all the time. Each time we go to an investigation, um, how to like kind of hone it a little more or not as much, or try to work on some of the different other things that I know I'm capable of doing to get better at doing those.
Right on.
I
Misty?
think
Well, it's probably easier to talk about my first real experience with realizing what channeling meant for me. We went to McPike, and these
where's that?
McPike in Alton, Illinois.
Okay.
It's about 6 hours from us. That was our first experience as ghost hunting, all of us together. So we were kind of not expecting what happened that night. uh, Anyways, when we got there, we heard a little bit. Sherry, the owner, came out and talked with us a little bit, but she didn't really give us a complete rundown until a little bit later. She came in and talked to us after we experienced a little bit of it, and we realized real quick that night that uh, I was kind of overtaken. I was completely different than I normally am. I started humming and dancing around, and I,
Wow.
I, I have some problems getting up and down stairs because of back problems. And they said I was going up and down the stairs like I didn't have a care in the world. And I kept talking to a Jin. Oh, good Lord. That will follow me forever.
Her name was
But
Ginny,
yeah,
but she came
Jenny?
across to Missy as Jin Jin.
yes.
Oh, okay. I got it. So I call them Ginny Jin Jin. Okay, got it.
Right.
Yep.
I'm
It
all,
just,
yeah.
whatever I was feeling, I just kept calling her Jin. And I was like, she's my friend. And I, like, by the end of the night, I mean, I completely felt drained. And I was like, what just happened? But that was pretty much my first experience of channeling something that I had no idea what was there. We were just in the first hour of doing it, so we didn't even know the story of it yet. So Jin
Wow.
kind of came before that.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's actually really cool, though.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's actually really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was a really fun feeling. I don't know how to experience it except for a very happy, fun, uplifting feeling whenever
Yeah.
I felt her presence. And I did lose a little bit of time at one point.
Oh, wow.
Uh, I was going to do an EVP, and I told him I'm going to step in this other room as they could see me through the hall. And I put down my EVP for a moment. Next thing I know, I'm outside, and Brendan comes out and goes, "You've been gone for like 15 minutes," and it literally felt like I was gone for 2 minutes.
You were in.
I was completely in the zone. Don't know,
Yeah.
just was right outside the door of the cellar, because that's where you go in. The wine cellar is the main place you go and investigate. And I was standing right outside that door, and I was like, "Oh, it's only been like 2 minutes." She goes, "No, it's been like 15 minutes. Don't remember any of it."
The
You're in deep.
Yeah. Well, and we've also done the one where you put the speaker headphones on and
This
listen
method.
to the white noise. of a speaker.
That's this.
This method.
Yep.
The FS method,
Yep.
and I find myself getting into the zone and almost going in a rocking motion and really getting into those methods.
She rocks like
Those
there's no tomorrow.
Wow.
This is her when you sit and look at her. She's like, I mean, the whole time she's under, she's just like, it's crazy.
In her own, yeah. She's in her. She's in there with whoever.
Yeah.
Wow.
One thing I do want to say about McPike, it was our very first investigation, and it was very productive in a positive manner, which was really, really nice for everybody to experience. I would go back there in a heartbeat, except for when the chair got knocked off.
Oh yeah.
Because they're like the plastic patio chairs. And we put one straddling two chairs with a grid light on it. And it actually come crashing down. And we all sat and looked at each other and we're like, how did that happen? How did that happen? How did that, like we were trying to figure it out. It was very interesting. We still don't know how it happened. But
That was one of those. Hello.
yeah. And I mean, it came down with like force. Like it wasn't
Wow.
just slide off the chair. It got knocked over. So
Wow.
Tanya must be helping customers.
Yeah. Pike Mansion are really
Yeah.
nice. It does.
Yeah, I haven't had a ton of stuff. I've had something pull my shirt. I've heard voices before, this and that. Now we have somebody on right now, Cordell, that has actually had a very well. Actually, my bad. I always get on him. I always go at him when we have guests on about his experience. But actually, Kara
She's had the crazy
had
experience.
she had an experience at Old Hamilton Jail. I don't know if you folks have heard of that.
Mm-mm.
In Jasper, Florida. Kara had, I believe, the best evidence of the entire investigation that happened at like 10:30 in the morning. If you would like to explain, Kara, because I have a feeling, one, that you're a woman is why they interacted more, and talking to some other folks since we've been there, I think that's what happened. And two, because of your gift, they talk to you more. But if you want to explain, it's up to you.
But it's also a different approach that I have for the spirits in general as well. I went into segregation knowing that it was a place of pain and went along the approaching technique of, hey, it must be horrible to be in here and no one listening to your story. Please talk out. I'm here to listen. I'm a safe space. And in a place of segregation, I kind of felt like that's something that nobody ever does. And because of that, I turned towards the door, like leading out of the cell block, right next to the cells. And I was like, I can hear you, because I could hear jingling of keys up and down the hallway outside of the cell block. And I was like, I can hear you, come on over. And you can't see anything, like it's just plain doorway, right in the sunlight. But you hear running, like sprinting towards the camera, and then something pushes the camera away from me. And you can hear it smack the mic and everything.
Wow.
On top of the moans, we heard moans.
Yeah, we did.
That was wild. That and when I say I had something pull my shirt, we were watching the evidence in the main room on the first floor, and something pulled my shirt.
Yeah.
And I turned around and had some choice words for what did that, because I didn't want to be bothered at the time, but I respected my wishes and didn't do it again. But that, man, I've watching that was just like I've always believed I've had evidence before, but that was
solidified.
definitely the best of the trip and some
Yeah.
of the best evidence I've ever seen and heard.
So
Wild. It was wild.
the place where I was talking about where I heard the woohoo, it's Edinburgh Manor. It's here in Iowa.
Yep.
But a lot of paranormal celebs have been there.
Mhm.
So you hear a lot of thumps and movements and all that stuff like the entire night, but reviewing evidence, we were in a room, my audio cut out, so you just see the video, no audio. And then the second video that kicked in, my audio came back. My brother's like, let's end this EVP. So we ended it. I shut off my EVP recorder, but in my camera that I'm holding like this close to my face, we actually caught an EVP that says something like, um, life's better in the afterlife or something like that.
Oh,
It
wow.
was insane. And it was so loud that when, like when I was watching it, I had to like stop it and rewind it. I'm like, wait, what? Like what? And I'm like sending it to the team and I'm sending it to my brother and I'm like, tell me what this says. Tell me what this says. And we finally figured it out. And he's like, yeah, you actually caught a class A EVP. And it was an entire sentence. And it was literally so loud. It was crazy.
That's
That's
Never
awesome.
heard it.
That is
Never heard it in
awesome.
person.
Reminds me of the EVP
This is
we
why.
got at Jeff in the women's cell. Remember? It's like
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So that,
When you
as I
got
say,
chased out,
that clip is actually on my group, the Paranormal Gurlz page. It is actually on there.
I'm gonna check that out after for sure.
It's
Yes.
crazy. It was crazy. I was freaking out. I'm like, I don't even know what to make of this.
Now,
And I want to say, sorry, I want to say that that was actually next to the room with the guy who had ended up committing suicide.
Oh
It was
wow.
right across. It was across the room, and it was in the room where there's a lot of toys in there. I think it's Jarrett's room. Is that what it was?
Jerry's room.
Yeah, Jerry's room. But across the room was a really small room that I guess they converted for a gentleman that he was disabled and his parents passed away and his siblings didn't want to take care of him, so they dumped him off there. And
Wow.
he ended up he couldn't really take care of himself on his own, and I think he ended up hanging himself in that room.
Off the
Oh wow.
doorknob.
Yeah,
Off
off the
the
door.
Oh,
doorknob.
he sat down.
He was in a
Yeah,
wheelchair.
Oh
yeah,
man.
So I'm guessing like he flopped his way out of it or whatever.
Yeah. That man, that's commitment. That
and
hurts.
that's why I
Ugh.
wonder, because it really does when you listen to it. Sounds like my life's better in the afterlife.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's crazy. But like I said, it's on our group page. You guys can hear it. Um
After hearing that, you know what? I mean,
I
wow.
saw something about that.
That's like he's telling his truth.
Yeah, that's
I feel
crazy.
better now. I'm better now.
yeah,
Wow. Holy moly, man.
yeah.
That's
It
crazy.
was it was crazy. It was crazy insane. So
Wow.
and
This is
then
why we do this. This is why we all do this.
yeah. And then
Wow.
coming up at the end of this month, we're actually going to Malvern Manor, which is another very popular location. So it'll
Mhm.
be cool to see that. And then in May, we're going to, it's called Beatty Mansion. It is in St. Joe, Missouri.
Okay.
And um, there isn't a lot of stuff to find out about that. Um, when Paranormal Lockdown was on TV,
Yep.
Nick and Katrina went there, and that's like
Yeah.
the only video evidence of anything ever that I've ever not that I looked, but I mean that I've seen on that location. So it'll be nice to actually go into a location kind of not knowing as much to
Yeah.
see what different things that we can experience
That's the best
without
time.
being influenced of, oh yeah, they said,
Yep.
you know.
Sometimes I think that's a lot better, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. Have you guys investigated in Florida at all? Have you ever
We've
been down here?
not yet. Not yet. We have
So
a big bucket list.
so Old Hamilton Jail, you got to put that on there.
Highly recommend.
Yeah.
Yes. Old Hamilton Jail. Had a few other acquaintances just went, and that place, it's
So
it,
active.
It's crazy.
you go to places and you don't get anything one night, and then a year later you get some. This place is nonstop. Old Hamilton Jail, May Stringer House. I'm going there next month. May Stringer House is a big one. The attic. There's a gentleman up there. He'll definitely make sure you have an experience. The kitchen area is good, but the attic is insane with this guy. Where else, Cordell? Kara, what do we got down here? We got
I mean, everyone does the devil tree, so I have to say
Devil's,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
Devil's
don't
Tree.
do
Everybody
that.
goes to the Devil's Tree.
At night, it's not
Um,
bad.
Gold Coast Railroad Museum.
Yeah.
oh yes,
Miami.
there you go. Yeah, Gold Coast Museum, and then I just went to
Is
another
that
one.
where Robert the Doll is?
No, that's in Key
No,
West.
that's in Key West.
Okay.
So if you reach out to me, if you go to Key West, let me know when you're going to Key West,
Yeah.
and I will link you up with the guy in Key West who will
Okay.
get you in, and I will make sure you don't have to pay to get into anything. That's at the fort. Robert's at the fort. We actually had him on. Uh, Sloan. We had Mr. Sloan on. Robert's at the fort. Then you have the old firehouse there. Um, if you go to the cemetery, you may get some good stuff. Also, I'm trying to think of the name of the building, the inn where you can actually stay in it. Robert used to stay upstairs, looking out the window. Um, but Dave Sloan, you just let me know.
Okay.
If you go down to Key West, let me know. I'll make sure he hooks you up.
All of St.
He's
Augustine.
awesome. He's
Yeah,
awesome.
so it's cool too.
What was it? Our second or third episode, Cordell? He's on. So if you want to look at that, you can. He's got some stories from down there. That place. There's so many haunted places there. Some of the bars. He is the person to talk to down there. And I can link you up,
Cool.
and that way you go down there to make it worth your while.
So, can I tell you about my first non-home investigation?
Yes, we'd love to
Because
hear about it.
when my brothers started taking me, they were home investigations. So my first overnight location investigation was actually the Velisca house.
What?
The Murder House.
That was my first official location
Wait a minute.
investigation.
You sent that, I think, you put that in the email. Did
I
you?
think so. I think so.
Yeah.
So
I was there.
the minute we pulled up to the house, okay, let me back up. When you pull into town and you're driving down the street to go to this house, the whole street is creepy. Like every house has a story. It's gave me the shivers going down that street. Pull up to the house, and there's like those little half moon windows, like on Amityville.
Yep.
And we
Yeah.
pull up, and I just stare at those windows. Like I'm not looking at anything particular. I'm just staring at those windows. And the girl I was with, she goes, "Are you getting out of the car?" And I'm like, "Nope." She goes, "Why not?" And I said, "Because it's watching us. So I'm going to wait just a little bit before I get out." It was me, my brother, his friend, and his friend's wife. And so as we are going along, I'm watching like the windows upstairs. I see the curtain of the parents' window move over. Nobody's in the house, nobody, but I see it move over and I know that it's there. I can tell it's like piercing out at me, like, great, we're going to go through this again. And then as the night started to hit, I'm like, crap, we're really doing this, right? And they're like, yeah, we're really doing this. I saw a black mist that night in the house. Um, we heard, I don't know, footsteps. We saw a shadow figure come up out of the floor, like
Holy shit.
on a infrared camera. It came up out of the floor, and we're like, okay, okay. We go downstairs and just as I hit the kitchen, it's super. I mean, cold anyway. It was in April. April was the first, so it was chilly. But when we hit the kitchen, you could see your breath. It was that cold. Like it was super cold. And I stopped and I said, "Don't you feel that?" And she goes, "Feel what?" And I said, "Don't you feel how cold it is and all that, like the smoke's coming out of my mouth because the street light's coming in." And she goes, "Oh yeah, I feel it." And I'm like, "Let's go get the guys." Send the guys in. Didn't tell them about it. They walked in the house and it had totally dissipated. Everything, the temperature stuff were all back to normal. And it was crazy. It was a very crazy experience. I had my first portal sessions through actual portals.
Yeah.
That was crazy. My brother had a marble thrown at him. I mean, it was just insane activity. Insane. It was crazy.
Speaking of marbles, so in New York, upstate New York, up by Syracuse, there's a place called Valentine. Um, it was on Ghost Hunter's first season. It's a museum. I got some audio of it sounds like a marble rolling across the floor. I want to say it's the second or third floor. It's where they did the ballroom. Um, that was weird, but it sounded like a marble rolling. We got the camera on it. You don't see anything, but we got all the audio on the
But you
camera
can hear it.
and on the EVP, and so that's another spot if you ever get up there. Valentine Museum is pretty active. That's the
The
first place I went to that it was very active. I could at one point we got in there and they were giving us a tour. It felt like I couldn't even breathe when I got there. There's supposedly a little boy in the basement. We didn't get anything down there. The other team that was in there, we were splitting it. They didn't get anything in there, but we were fighting over the one floor because we got all our evidence on that floor, like something walking towards us and like that's a cool place to go to. And then the wooded area behind it has some stuff. We didn't get to do that. We were there too. We got there too late to do all that. But so that's another spot if you ever get up in the upstate New York, check that place out.
the
Uh,
um the last
oh,
place we investigated last summer, um Misty, we were taking pictures. Her camera was sitting on the table recording. You can actually see the video where it goes from facing this angle to this angle, back to this angle with nobody touching it. It's on the table. We're all away from it. I have video. Everybody else has video. So, nobody's touching it. Camera's moving. And she was taking still photos. And it's right side up, upside down, right side up, right side up. And we still have not figured out how that one picture flipped upside down. There was no rotation on, no anything. But it's like upright, upright, upside down, upright, upright, upright. It's crazy. Like the
And
different things that can happen it's crazy.
So
and
that's
it was very visible too. It was a Pepsi machine. So, I mean, it's clearly showing the way the vending machine is sitting. In the other picture, everything's completely reversed. I'll have to put them up. I have no idea how it did that.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's crazy.
Because
That's
they
crazy.
were, taking picture after picture after picture, so there was no time between.
Right.
Interesting.
So yeah, if
That's
anybody
awesome.
knows, if anybody can explain that, that would be awesome. 'Cause, if it was
That's
like the
awesome.
last picture, then okay, we could probably brush it off. But it's like in the middle of a sequence of pictures. So crazy. Tanya, you've been back and forth. Do you have anything?
No, I have another cup.
I thought you had a
Okay.
ghost in there because the camera was turning up and it was turning. I was like, oh, look at this.
Yeah,
Tanya's
Yeah.
got something.
No, she's just working.
I'm always working.
You're a
But
trooper, though. You're still on the podcast. You're a trooper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm
You
only
are an investigator.
only 62 hours this
That. Whew.
Jeez. I
yeah,
will
she's
not
been
complain.
working.
so
She's been
I'm not.
working a lot.
I will not
So
complain about what I've been doing this week. Then
what other
62 hours.
questions? What other questions do you have?
Uh, I mean, we've really gone through the gauntlet with him, but like where? Okay, let everybody know where they can find you. Yeah, what websites? What Facebook or whatever. Wherever we can all find you, and any more future endeavors coming up that people can expect to hear about, see. That way we can, whoever watches this can support you, ladies, and like your pages, follow you, and all that stuff.
Yeah, so right now we have the Paranormal Gurlz page. The icon that you have up there, that is the icon on our page. So you can find that on Facebook. I do have a YouTube channel started. I just don't have anything on there yet. I'm kind of trying to get through some more investigations and seeing what I can piece together and stuff like that before throwing it on there. So yeah, you can find us on there. Uh, that's pretty much it at the moment. We don't have a website because like I said, we're still real super new, first year in. But we're always happy to talk to people, and um, I'm I'm very specific and analytical, and things have to be a certain way before I will even like post them or whatever. That's why I don't have a lot of stuff out on our page, because like I want to do like a little video, but I have to have time to do that. And in the midst of, investigating and working and running a business and getting married and, like all that stuff, there,
Yeah.
and everybody else working or whatever, like we just don't have enough time to sit down and do any of that just yet. But I would actually like to start podcasts too, just to be able to talk to other
Yeah.
I was thinking about it before I even talked to you, because it would be really cool to get other people's experiences
Yeah.
and stuff of places where they've been and everything like that. So,
It
there's a
it's been
lot of
fun.
things.
It's been fun. I've wanted a podcast for the last few years.
Yeah.
Um, Someone had mentioned it, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." Once I say let's do it, we're gonna do it. They were kind of lagging, but I made it happen. And just meeting folks and talking to them, this has been awesome. And this is, if you go on the page, it'll say this should say episode 6. There's 7 episodes, but the first one, I don't know what I did with that audio and video.
You did. Now there
So,
is there's an episode where you
yeah,
forgot to record.
it was bad, but everything. I think the other ones have been all right, but it's just awesome talking to people.
Mhm.
I think I've met some friends now. Like, um, I was talking about it earlier. I think before we came on, I got a Jeremy from Beyond the Badge Paranormal. I don't know if you follow them. Um, him, myself, and then I got a buddy down in Savannah or up in Savannah. We're gonna do an episode or two for first responders. It's just gonna be us, first responders, and the paranormal, like stuff like that that I wouldn't be able to do if I didn't do this. And it was crazy because I didn't think it would go anywhere. As soon as I made the page, one of the groups that I follow and follows me, I didn't follow them until they followed me, and they put the name out there and like, hey, everybody support, and it's been awesome. Like I only have 160 some followers,
Mhm.
but those are followers that we talk to each other. I get to see what they're doing. They're always trying to put other teams podcasts on, so I say do it, do it. I'm a person that I don't need 5,000, 6,000 people or buy people. That's what happens in the world too, in the digital world. But just having these 100 or so people, and then every day I'm getting ones and twosies of people following, and I follow them, and we talk, and then I have 3 more people or groups I have to talk to for the podcast here to get them on. And then I have the
Fun.
other thing I want to do. So it's been awesome. It's been awesome. Just I I'm all for it. Do it, and I will definitely support it. And I know some other folks who are going to support it. You're going to get that name out there, and yeah, it, it's a good time, man. This has been fun. Just the few episodes we've done, it's been awesome. Just meeting people from I got a couple groups. I got to reach back out to them because we were supposed to have one from Scotland,
Oh,
and
nice.
one of them had they had an issue, so they had to back off for now. But we're still in talks, so we want to have them on. I think we got 1 or 2 from the UK, and these are folks I found on a page that just started putting my page out there. It's awesome. It's awesome. I wasn't used to it because most Facebook pages are, they get kind of toxic. But I will say, uh, actually, Cordell, Kara, your page, the iSpook page is a good one. It's not toxic at all that I've seen. There's just a lot of people on there, and it's just been nice seeing that because there are some toxic pages. It's just been nice seeing it, and I'm excited. So if you do it, I'm excited for you. Please do it. Please do it. I
One,
got your back.
one last thing I'll add. We are in Iowa, so if anybody needs any ins or outs on where to go in Iowa, y'all can let me know.
You got
Or
some good
let
stuff
one of
there.
us know. Yeah. And we can help out in that area. But otherwise, yeah, this has been fun.
Definitely.
This has been fun.
Yeah. Anytime you want to come on, you just let me know. We'll get you on, and this is fun. I think this is fun talking to folks and learning their experiences, and someone other than my wife gets to hear my stupid voice, me talking. You know, she's probably dreading. She knows time's almost up, and I'm coming back, and gonna get her. But hey guys, gals, this has been fun. I'd like to have you back on. Please,
Absolutely.
if you're thinking about it, do the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do the podcast.
Thank you for having us. Like I said, it's been fun.
Thanks for
Made it
sharing
through
your
the first
time.
podcast without struggling too much. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Hey,
Happy Monday,
I
Yeah,
struggle
thank
Tuesday.
every
you.
I struggle every podcast, so don't worry about
Nice
it.
to meet you guys too.
Nice to meet you.
You,
Usually, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just say you have to realize I do a business where I'm live all the time. So why I was actually
Yeah.
nervous doing this podcast is beyond me because I'm live all the time, which is crazy, but maybe because when I'm live I only see myself, I don't see other people.
You know what? I will ask though on March 8th, if you guys have the time, It is it 7 or 8 o'clock?
I think
I
it's
forget.
8.
But NSPS TV, he's doing a podcast. Um, what the hell do they call it, Cordell?
It's the diversity in the paranormal culture.
Yeah. So he's getting a few of us. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed, there's not a ton of people who look like me in the paranormal,
That is
and
correct.
yeah,
Very much
so
so.
he's got a group together, and we're going to do a podcast on his NSPS TV. Um, he's on Facebook, YouTube. He's on a
Okay.
bunch of stuff. He's on a bunch of stuff. He called me up and told me all the stuff that I should do. I'm lazy. I didn't do it, but I got to listen to him at some point. But his name is Terry. He's really cool.
Real cool
And
dude.
we actually did a podcast on his show once. I think it was the first podcast I ever been on.
Yeah.
And he's a good dude. So he's out in Texas, I think. And we're gonna do one. And as he puts in his thing, the brothers are coming on. But it should be fun. So I'm gonna push it out for him, and we're gonna talk about us and why there isn't that many of us. Because I could probably count on one hand how many people I've met that look like me, and I don't understand. I kind of understand why, but um, like, what are we doing? Like, get out there, we come from a country and a past where spirits and stuff like that is huge in our culture. Um, I've been lucky enough to have a grandmother and mother that where I'm not scared of it. So, um, yeah. So hopefully we can get some more folks to come out, check it out, and reach some other people and get them in here and investigate. Because I mean, when you break it all down, we're all brothers and sisters. So, and we're into the same thing. So
And
let's do
collabs are always awesome.
Yeah,
Yes, they are.
definitely. But
So,
yeah, come check that out if you'd like. A little shameless plug there, and
what
yeah,
time is that?
definitely love to have. I 7 or 8. I have to look into my personal computer device that I hold in my pocket. That's called a cell phone. Uh,
Mhm.
no, I have to look in there. I'll get it out. We've posted it. I just got too much crap going on. I can't remember if it was 7 or 8 Eastern. I
Okay.
want to say 8.
Cordell to the
I want to
rescue.
say
Go look it up.
because he's in Texas. I think it's 8 o'clock Eastern. Um, but yeah, just go on my page. Go on the Paranormal Musing podcast page, and it's there. It's been posted and sent out. Cordell actually posted it
March
too. So
March 8th, 7 p.m. 2025.
It's 7 o'clock.
7 is that Eastern or? Hmm.
Uh, whatever time Texas is.
Yeah, that might be
Central.
Central. Yeah,
It's central
yeah,
because they're
yeah.
in our time zone.
Yeah. I'm pretty
So
sure we're
eight
an
o'clock
hour ahead of him.
Eastern.
Yeah, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central. So check it out. He does his live, I believe. So he's got a guy out in Japan that comes on and some crap, and it's pretty funny. But yeah, it's a good time. Um, you'll learn if you come on. You'll probably learn about the guy whose family was kidnapped by alien cows. I think. Yeah, he's pretty
You're not,
funny. He
you're
does
not
it to be funny, I
joking.
believe. It's entertaining.
Okay.
It's entertaining. But
Um, his comments are
ladies,
wild.
thanks for coming on. Would love
Thank
to have
you.
you again. Would love to
Thank
have you
you.
again. This is always fun. Just shooting the breeze with everybody. You know. Um, yeah, love to have you back on. I hope you do the podcast. If you do, put it out there. I'll definitely be on listening, supporting. Um, yeah, keep it
Also,
Appreciate it.
paranormal.
don't
Thank
forget to
you.
stay spooky.
Happy hunting and Cordell.
Stay
I
spooky.
think you have something to say to lead
I
us
just,
out.
I think I just
What
said
is
it.
it?
Stay spooky.
Stay
Stay
spooky.
spooky.
Well,
Yes.
Bye.
that was awesome. Yeah, we'll talk again at some point. Love to have you back on. This is T Paranormal Cordell, and we have the Paranormal Gurlz, and we are out. Happy hunting, folks.
Deuces.